All right, welcome guys. AWO here, Aaron Order. Tonight for another after show spoiler stream of the Penguin episode 5. Things are heating up in the Penguin show. As you can see if you just watched it, things are extremely heating up. Alliances are being made, betrayals, murders, stuff. It's really heating up. Heating up. Specifically, this episode, a lot of movement in this episode. It's getting more intense. Intense in the show. Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot, Oz Cobb, wherever you want to come, has really pissed off the Maroonies and the Falcons. Well, not the Falcons anymore, right? It's not the Falcons anymore. If you've just seen this episode, you would know it's not the Falcons anymore. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So please. So we're gonna go through this. So if you haven't seen the episode yet, and you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest you don't watch this. But if you have seen the episode and you want to talk about it with me here, go ahead and watch it and talk and discuss it with me in the comments on the side, please. I always appreciate your input on what you guys think and what do you have to say about this episode. Okay? Because this show, once again, is one of the best shows out there. Might be my favorite show out there right now. It's that good of a show. It's definitely a top tier comic book show. It might be the best comic book show of all time. And I'm not exaggerating there, hyperbolic. It might be actually potentially the best comic book show of all time. You guys may disagree. It's fine with you. Everybody's subjective. Everybody has a different opinion. I'm open to that, right? I'm not gonna chastise you. I'll just may agree or disagree with you, but I'm not gonna call you stupid or anything like that if you disagree with me on okay about this show. Okay, now if you saw last week's episode, it's basically the origin of Sophia Falcone, right? How Sophia Falcone came to be, right? How she became this, well, technically, in a way, a victim of her father's basically framing her for the hangman killers, killing. And basically, her time in Arkham, how she was just living a happy, normal life, a happy life, but started questioning about the hangman killings, her mother and her father. And obviously, she paid a price for questioning too much. And the father basically framed her, had her locked up in Arkham, and she eventually descended into madness in Arkham. It didn't really cure her. It didn't really cure her. It actually I gotta check something. It actually was something. It actually made her insane, crazier. Actually, it broke her. It didn't kill her. It actually broke her. It broke her, right? It broke her. That's what happened in this episode, last week's episode. So now with today's episode, things are heating up, man. Really, things are building up for the show. Okay, man. Sophia, Sophia laying down the ground. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. Sophia laying down the ground. Um, we'll talk about Maroney, Clancy Brown's Maroney. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about Penguin Oz and his relationships with his lover, lover slash friend, his mother. We get to see that he assigns Victor to take care of his mother for him in this episode, to watch over his mother. We see that. Okay. We see that in this episode, guys. And so, and we're gonna talk about all of that in this episode. All of that, guys. All of that. Okay. All of that. Oh, also, not a major character, but a character from the Batman appears in this show. In this show, for about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Okay. So a familiar character from the Batman movies in the show, but it's not a big character. It's not Batman. It's not Commissioner Gordon. It is a cop. Yeah, it is a cop. Okay, it is a cop from the Batman. Yeah, he's in the show. So we get a kind of a another character from the Batman movie in the show. I mean, Cobblepot obviously is from the Batman, right? The movie. So we get that. Okay, we get a okay. We get so yeah. All right. So yeah, that's so I don't know, and I don't know. This is a Penguin show. I don't care about that right now. Okay, this is a Penguin show. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, let's get into this episode. Oz is really turning up the heat, right? The heat, and we know Oz wants to play both sides of the Falcones and and the uh, and the Maroonies against each other. And we know last week's actually not last week's episode, but the third episode of the season. We know the Maroonies ambush Oz and Sophia right, at the end, he took his drug supply of shrooms. We know that, right? If you remember that, that's episode. Okay, we know that. Okay, Oz is a monster. Yeah. Oh, Sophia is scary as hell. Oh my god. All right. So we see it. We see that he goes to Blackgate. Well, first doesn't go to Blackgate. First, he burnt him and Miguel, not Miguel, Victor, burn the Maserati, right? Burn the Maserati and it explodes. He has a bunch of his men that he still works with come and they on the phone on TikTok and Instagram. The Maroonies have a son, and he's kind of showing off. The Maroonies is kind of showing off. The son is showing off, and the plan is to kidnap him to hold leverage against the Maroonies for a trade. The Maroonies for the son, right? So they go to the tattoo parlor where the son of the Maroonies, is having um a tattoo, and they shoot everybody there except the son. The son tries to escape, but nope, they catch up to him. And then Oz, back at Blackgate Prison, right, shows that they captured. He certainly he shows that they captured the Maroney. I forgot the wife's name, but Salvatore, and they showed the mother and the father, Salvatore and his wife, that he's captured um, their son, and he initiates a trade, right? A trade, a son for the and for the drug. And the thing is, now this will be played later on in the episode as this kind of a foreshadowing. Unlike the Falcons, the Maroonies do. I think the Maroonies, they care about the family. I think the Maroonies are a little more honorable in that you don't go after family. You don't go after family. There's a code, and they love their son clearly. Unlike the Falcones, whereas clearly Carmine doesn't care about his kids. Obviously, that's obvious, right? And they have a son, so they're basically in a bind where yeah we might have they're going to be have to, and they start speaking Italian because they know Oz is going to betray him. They feel like Oz is going to betray him, right? They know Penguin's going to betray him, and that is pretty much the case. Okay, so they kind of agree to a deal, but they know Oz is going to betray him, so they're going to be prepared for the trade later on in the show. Okay. Also, as Oz was leaving Blackgate, he kind of gives a bribe to a guard, and the bribe is later is revealed that he's bribing this guard whatever amount of money he gave him to shank Maroney in his cell to kill Maroney, Salvatore. And yeah, obviously that fails, but we'll get to that later. As he wanted to leave, another guard looking on the TV monitor, the news of what happened to Falcone mansion. A mysterious gas leak killed majority of the Falcone crime family, but Sophia Falcone is alive and Johnny Vitti is not there to be found. Right? Also, I guess not her niece. It's not her niece, but her cousin's daughter is alive, but being taken away by, I guess, child services. Okay. Also, then we got a character from the movie, another character from a movie, another police character. No, it's not Officer Martinez. No, shut up, Cynic. Where have you been, Cynic? I haven't seen you in a while. So the familiar character from the Batman appeared in the show. If you remember, he's not in much of the show, but he's in the movie. But you'll remember him. He kind of has that voice, like this. I'm gonna try to mimic his voice. Is like, "You're in a lot of trouble. You shouldn't be working with the Batman." Okay, that's his voice in the movie. If you remember it, I don't know if I did a good impression. But his characters, so that's the cop, not Officer Martinez. His name was Officer Brock. He's kind of the one who, doesn't like Batman. But he was there. He was a chief too, right? He was a chief, right? Chief Brock, right? He wasn't like Chief Brock. That's his name. Degrassi, you're guilty of dressing up for Halloween. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, that's his name, right? Chief Rock. And he's talking to Sophia Falcone about what supposedly happened, right? Like from what she knows. So what she knows. Okay. Because she has to. That's his job to investigate. Even though I think that's a detective job. I don't think the chief's. I really don't think the chief is the one that investigates this, but I think it's more of the detectives supposed to investigate. I think it'd be more of James Gordon would investigate this, but in the show they go with the police chief. I guess it's because it's something to do with the Falcones, right? And I guess it's something that to do with the end of Batman. Remember, this doesn't take place long after the Batman, like a week after. So it kind of makes sense, I guess, for him. But I still think it would be James Gordon. And not you don't see you see covered up dead bodies, right? Who died? Most of the family. Luca, her uncle, died. The brother of Carmine, her cousin that she was one point very friendly with, had a great relationship with in the past, but she didn't kill the daughter. Um, Milo or Milos, whatever. I don't know her name. The guy's name is Milo or Milos, and others. Basically, people that she killed that she didn't felt like had her back. Um, didn't feel like family. The only one she kept alive was Johnny Vitti, and she had him tied up, and down below, and she needed him alive because she wanted access to her father's money, where he has all his money, right? And she kept pouring cold water on him, very cold water on him. And then yeah, so now with Penguin, he knows they're gonna be gunning for him and the people he cares about, right? Oz knows that after what happened, he's happy that he's glad. I mean, he says, "Oh, I'm glad Sophia, the Falcon, most of the Falcon family is dead." It takes a lot of pressure off of him, right? Off of him. Few, all right? And if you like what you see, guys, make sure to share, subscribe, and comment below. Okay? Please. So Oz, back in his home with this man and Victor, they're planning, right? They're planning what to do next. How are they gonna get the mushrooms, right? Because of the meetup, right? The meetup between Oz and Salvatore's wife, son for the mushrooms, the shrooms, the drug, to make the drug, right? But he also tells Victor to take care of his mother, right? To watch out his mother because his mother might be a target also, right? So he goes to where mothers live, right? His where Oz's mother lived, and there's signs of the dementia that her mother had, that Oz's mother has mistakenly at a point where she mistakes Victor for Oz a little bit, but Victor tells him it's not Oz, it's me, Victor. Okay, so Victor's there to watch over Oz's mother and take her to a more safer place where perhaps the people that are going to go after Oz will go after the people he cares about, and a safer place where they won't really go into. And we'll get to that later because there's a section of Gotham where you wouldn't think the mob would go into. Okay? Okay. Oh, I got 10 people watching. Yeah, man. Now we get to the exchange part. Oh, and we'll get to Sophia Falcone again because she's badass. I want to invite, hey, Degrassi, I want to invite you on, man. I want to see if you're on, Degrassi. Talk to me, Degrassi. Talk. If I give you something, like, I haven't heard your voice in a couple months. Talk, Degrassi. Okay. So we get to Sophia Falcone. You're blinded. We get to blinded. You're gonna be spoiled here, but Sophia Falcone. It's time for a new era, right? So you get the Julian character, Theo Walsh's character, comes in, says, I watched what was on the news. I watched on the news. It's not the south side of Gotham. I watched on the news what happened to your family. And he knew right away that Sophia was the one who did it, okay? Also, she goes back down to where Johnny Vitti is, and Johnny Vitti convinces her that she needs him because she explained a lot of detail, a lot of things that Sophia didn't know. And Johnny Vitti is the cousin of Sophia's mother. And the reveal was that Sophia's mother was planning to leave him, right? Leave Carmine, right? Carmine. And stuff like that. And she loved her cousin and stuff like, and she's saying, I'm gonna be useful for for her and stuff, for your mother and whatever. So eventually he does become useful, like 5 minutes later. And we'll get to why he was useful for a little bit left in this show. Okay. But we go to the exchange between Salvatore. That's funny plan. Salvatore Maroni. No, Salvatore Maroni's wife and Penguin. Before we get that, we see the guard that was being bribed by the Penguin to kill Salvatore Maroni in his prison. So that guard goes to where Salvatore's locked up in his cell and comes in and tells Salvatore, and he shanks him with a knife in the stomach, right? Shanks him. Oh, he doesn't die, guys. Let me tell you, he doesn't die there. Okay. So we get the exchange between Salvatore's wife and Penguin. So Penguin brings his lead man, and his wife, Salvatore's wife, brings his their lead guy. They do the exchange. It brings out the sun and the mushrooms. There's the mushrooms there. They do the exchange, but here's the thing: the ambush. Because, like I said earlier in the stream, the Maroonies didn't trust Penguin. There was an ambush. The Salvador Maroonies shot at the Penguin and his crew. The Penguin's crew shot back. Penguin crew got the upper hand, and the Penguin was smoking a cigar, and there was actually like oil and stuff, oil gas, whatever. And the thing is, he just threw the cigar on the oil, and there was an oil leak line all the way to the mother and son hugging each other, embracing each other, and he basically lit them on fire. He lit Salvatore Maroni's wife and their son on fire, and you could see them burning. I mean, you'll see up close. You don't see the skin melting off, but you can see them. You can still see them burning. So he was Yeah, so he burned Salvatore's wife and son to death. And they managed to get the shrooms, and they managed, right? They managed to get the shrooms, but the thing is, turns out the shrooms were all dead, and only a few were able to be converted into whatever drug they were making. Okay, right? And he gets a phone call. He gets a phone call, and it's Salvatore Maruni. Yeah, Salvatore Maruni. Yeah, so he got shanked. No, but he's the one who killed that guard, and he managed to escape Blackgate. He managed to escape Blackgate. I don't know how he managed to escape Blackgate. I know he killed that guard. I don't know how he managed to escape Blackgate. You don't see him escaping Blackgate, but he does escape Blackgate. I'm like, okay, but how did he get? How did he escape it? How did he escape Blackgate? Okay, and he lets Penguin know that he survived, and the Penguin is like, Penguin lets him know that he killed his wife and their son, burned them, and that pissed off. I mean, that's anger Salvatore because Salvatore loved his family. The difference between the Falcones and the Maroonies actually cared about each other. Okay, that's why it seemed like it got they made it perfectly imply. No, they didn't imply it. It made it perfectly clear in the show that's the case. Okay. Next, we see now we see Sophia. He took the guard's keys, but he just walked out, right? He just walked out with no other guards seeing him, no cameras. He's just like, okay, okay. He had somehow to get through, right? Whatever. I mean, like, whatever. Then we see Sophia, Julia's character. Sophia calls a bunch of the Falcone remaining henchmen and Johnny Vitti to the table, and lets her know there's a new era that she's taking the crime family, and she's like, I'm getting rid of the Falcone name. We're not gonna be known the Falcones. She is gonna adopt her mother's actual last name. Um, what's it? Gigante. Okay, she's gonna adopt that, and she basically says most of you have been treated like shit. You done all this stuff for the crime family, but you haven't been rewarded for it. So if we're gonna change things here. It's obviously she's trying. She doesn't obviously she's not like her father. She's not like her father built. He hated her father's version of the family. She's building her own family in honor of her mother. Obviously, that's why she took her. She called it the Gigante crime family or Elegante, not Gigante. That's a fucking wrestler, man. Gigante. It's Elegante, right? Oh, maybe it's Gigante. What is it? Okay, it's Gigante. Okay, it is Gigante. Okay, and she wanted a new beginning for her family. She wanted to end the feud between the Falcones and the Marooni. She wanted to do this, and Johnny Vitti is like, "Don't you think this is too much rushing it?" And when he was saying that stuff, she just took out the gun and executed him right there. Shot him point blank in the head in front of everybody. And she poured then this point blank Johnny V. Johnny V dead. She just killed her own mother's cousin right in the head just by shooting her point blank in the head. Him in the head. Just like that. Oh, it's great. And then she has a bag of the money that their father had. Look at them fighting in the chat. Can she make peace? You two? Um right? And she had a bag of all this money, right? Right? She had a bag of all this money from the father, but their father was hidden. And you see the henchmen are like the not in the high up henchmen. Only she basically implied before she killed her, before Johnny Vitti. She basically implied that only one of you made it up in the ranks, and that was Johnny Vitti. None of you, and you do all the work, and none of you got rewarded for it. And so here's your money for being rewarded, for being rewarded for what you have done. and they just grab whatever money was on the stacks of money, stacks of bills. Okay, okay, and she's now she's not the Falcone family anymore. It's the It's the G. Okay, it's the Gigante family. Okay, okay. Now the penguin knows his prostitutes. I want you to say girlfriend, but prostitute, confidant, friend. Knows it's in danger. He actually kind of cares about her, so he goes to her and says, um, "You might be in danger. You might have to leave here." And she's like, "No, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm staying." And that angered Oz, but because he was that pissed him off, angered him. That's right. And he throws things down, and she's like, "Calm down." It's like, "I'm just holding you back." And so, and that okay, there, right? With Victor taking care of his mother, he has to take her to a safer place where nobody that's a threat will find her. Nobody can use her as a pawn or a or kill because of what Penguin is doing. So he has to take her to a safer place, and he does. He takes her to Gotham, where the flood, the bombings heavily damage this area in Gotham, where 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 Victor is kind of from, and it's East End Gotham, and you see in the show that this city looks like. I mean, the blinded, blinded. You watch Last of Us, you see all these cities, uh, with no people around. You see how there's all this damage everywhere, right? You see like all this shit around. East End Gotham has all of that. It looks like it's garbage city. You see all these buildings, this and all this debris, all this shit because of the bombings. And he's from there. In the third episode, the bombings and flooding killed Victor's family. Okay, look at these guys fighting. Killed Victor's family. Okay, but but the thing is, she's gonna be safe there because let's be honest. You think the mafia is gonna go there? You think the Falcone family or the Gigante family now or the Maroonies are going to go there, right? Go there because they might want to get to the penguin through his mother. You think they end up going? You think they end up going into East End Gotham with all this shit? It looks like a freaking earthquake happened in that city. Yes, bombs, flooding, but it still looks like an earthquake happened, right? And it obviously hasn't been cleaned up. Yeah, you don't see it being cleaned up yet because it's only been a week. But yeah, um, okay, okay. So she takes him into the apartment or condo. I think it might have been his at one point where his family lived. And she explains that at one point she grew up in something like this, in a dump like this, with the kids, with Oz, and he had brothers. Yes, Penguin has brothers in this universe. Okay. I gotta respond to something. Sorry, guys. All right. Oh, oh my god. Sorry, guys. I just respond to something. That's why there's a little dead air. All right. Then also Since Salvatore Maruni escaped, he's living out a desert, like out in the forest, away from the city, right? Because he doesn't, because if he lived in the city, he'd easily be found, right? Especially with the Batman around. I mean, like the Batman could find him, right? Escapes, right? And the cops, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. True. That kid, that punk. Degrassi. I think that punk is the same. I think that punk. Excuse me, I'm gonna cough in a minute. I think that punk kid is the same kid from episode 3 in the flashbacks when Vic before the bombing and flood. I think he was in that episode, if I remember. Okay. All right. So Salvatore essentially escaped. He's hiding out in a cabin in the forest, right? Hiding away from Gotham. He can't be right with the police around and with Batman around, whatever, and other also the Oz around, and even the Gigantes around. He doesn't know the Gigantes at the time were now the Gigantes or the He still thinks of the Falcone family, but Sophia Falcone managed to find Maruni, and they and she holds him at gunpoint in his cabin, but she doesn't shoot him because she's not there she's not there to kill him. She's not there to kill him. Okay. Remember, she said she's going to put an end to this feud between the Falcones and the Maroonies, but not in a way she thinks where she's going to end the Maroonies. No, no, no. She something else. Something else she meant by that, by ending this feud between them. And it's all thanks to the Penguin. The Penguin. It's all thanks to the Penguin. Really. Okay? So Sophia mentions she heard about the his wife and his son, and she's tells him that, yeah, your family really does love your you really do love your family, and that's something that the Falcones really don't, right? And that's what's important. You really do love your family, okay? And she says, I'm not here to kill you. I'm here to put an end to this feud between our families. We start a new chapter, a new chapter to put our differences aside, to heal. And she said basically, the Gigantes and and the Maroons. It sounds like the Gigantes were a family at one point, and they had a good relation with the Maroonies. And she's like, we have one common enemy who's done us both wrong, and that's the Penguin. And then after that, once you take out the Penguin, we could both dominate Gotham. So like Sophia Falcone is obviously taking her new crime family into a different direction. Maybe a little bit more honorable, yeah, but yeah, she executed Johnny V, but a little bit more honorable where she actually cares about maybe people in her family. Like she actually cares, unlike her father, where you just don't care. And obviously and she sees that in the Maroonies by just talking to Salvatore about how Salvatore cared about his wife and his son. He doesn't care about them anymore. Well, he still cares about them, but they're dead. And she sees that. And so yeah, so they put her differences aside because they have one enemy, and that's that's Penguin. Penguin, right? So what can so if if Sophia Gigante slash Falcone and Salvatore Maruni could put a difference aside, why can't Red and Cynic put a difference aside? Yeah, put your differences aside, guys. Please. Okay? Put your differences aside. Yes, yes. Okay. All right. Also, and in that thumbnail I have, that's in the show. Okay. Oh, and you don't want to mess with her too. You don't want to mess with Sophia Falcone. She's leading the family, but she's crazy, and she scares the shit out of me. All my homies hate. All my hate. uh, you guys are hilarious. You're like, okay. Well, so Oz comes back to where the apartment where to the apartment where Victor is holding his mother, right? And Oz is like, and Victor asks him, "Is it true you live in a place like this?" And he admits he has. And Victor asks about his brothers, what happened to his brothers, and Oz admits that they took him away. I guess the state took him away, child service took him away. I guess that's the case that happened. Okay. And like it's hard. I mean, I know this episode. There's times where you try to learn about Oz's upbringing, stuff like that, and trying to make him little. I'm saying the character, but this episode made him not a sympathetic character. When he burned, uh, the son, Salvatore's son and mother together as they're embracing, he had a wicked smile on his face. I mean, a smile on his face, not to the point of a grin like the Joker, but like he enjoyed it. Like it's one of those grins like I can't do it, but he was enjoying it. Okay, but also get back. So Oz is like, no, we need a new base of operations for the drugs that they were creating, they were making, right? So Oz had a place which is held up, locked up with chains and stuff. So he got it up, he got it on chain on hook, right? Open up in this place, and this place was had a light. It was like it seemed like a subway, a point to a subway at one point, and it turns on this light, and it's like, yep, this is gonna be our new base of operations. Our new base of operations where we're going. Okay, new base of operations. Red, U.S. Red. Took them. Yeah, I think what I think I meant. I think what I meant. They died. Somehow they died. Like it ate them alive and they died. Drugs, whatever, drugs, stuff like that. They're dead. Yeah, stuff like that. That's what I meant. Okay. Now remember, this Cobblepot, this Penguin version, is nothing like It's just not a comic book version of the Penguin because we know in some instances of comic book version of Penguin, he's a witch. He comes from a witch family. The Cobblepots are a well-known, wealthy family, and he's not like that, right? He's not like that in this show because honestly, it wouldn't be interesting if he was. It wouldn't be interesting if he was. If they go to the true story of Cobblepot Oz Penguin. If they went with that route, I don't think it would be as interesting, honestly. No. So they went with this more of someone from the street that's struggles to make a name for herself. I think that's a little bit more interesting than the typical Penguin story where he comes from a rich family. Okay, I think it's a lot more interesting, and that's the end of the episode. Honestly, that's the end of the episode. Let's go for about an hour. Maybe go for an hour. So we got 15 minutes left. So let's go, man. Let's just talk. I'm gonna talk about some more stuff, I guess, for another 15 minutes. Okay. So a lot of important characters getting killed off here. All right. All right. Okay. Right. I have a question for Degrassi specifically, and people watch the show. Do you think this episode 9 out of 10? Last week's episode a 10 for sure. But this week's episode 9.5. But I gotta bash this fucking article. Let me bring up this fucking article, man. I gotta bash IGN. IGN. Now this has to do with episode 4. But Degrassi, guys, if you watch this episode, Degrassi especially, I gotta bash IGN right now, right here. Okay? Right here, I'm gonna bash IGN. No, shut up, cynic. I know you're lying there. Alright? I know you're gonna say 7 out of 10 is not good. 7 out of 10 is not terrible, not bad. But look at this. But look at this. They gave it a 7 out of 10. Good, good, good. Yeah, I know 7 out of 7. You're gonna say 7 is not. You shouldn't bash off and give it a 7. But no, this is one of the highest rated episodes in TV. This is a problem with IGN, and I want to bring Blyden in here because he knows the shit by IGN. IGN lately has been, I don't know. IGN feels like when it comes to reviewing stuff, they have to be controversial in everything. Okay? They always have to be controversial. 7 out of 10? No, man. No. No. To me, this is a 10 out of 10 episode. This is last week's episode, okay? Now I'm going to go back. So they came out with a review for today's episode. Actually, right after the show ended. Good, congrats to Grassy. I know you've been struggling with it. I'm very happy for you. Congrats. The struggle is all worth it, man. Now this episode, they gave it an 8. Great. Last week's episode was better than this week's episode, but it's still a really good episode. Yeah, thank you. Oh, excuse me, man. Excuse me. All right, guys. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. So. Yeah, you just cynic. Don't lie, man. Don't lie. Don't lie. I know you liked it. Okay. Okay. All right. Now the interested in. Well, we got 3 episodes left. Wait. 6, 7, 8. I didn't do anything, man. I wasn't the one playing the game. But you're welcome. 3 episodes left, right? Oh man, there's the Lions. The Lions between the Maroonies and the Gigantes. Do you think Sophia Falcone makes it to the Batman 2? You know what? I don't know if Batman's gonna be in this. Okay, they said Batman's not gonna be in the show. Bruce Wayne's not gonna be in the show, right? But I feel like we're gonna somehow get some sort of Batman. Oh, moral support. Yeah, we're gonna get some of moral presence of Batman. And what I mean by that, not exactly him showing Batman or Bruce Wayne, like he warns, he warns Penguin at the end, or like in the background, he secretly stops a gang, like takes secretly stops an actual shootout, stuff like that in the background because 50-50 shoots. Yeah, I don't think Salvatore is though. I don't think Salvatore Mooney is making it to the next movie. I don't think he's gonna be in the second movie. No. But I feel like Batman will make some sort of impression at the end. I mean, like I said, now he's gonna be. You're not gonna see Robert Patterson, but I think he's gonna be like. There's gonna be like some sort of present because the Chief Brock mentioned the Sophia is a whole new city out there, right? And when I think it's a whole new city or a whole new thing out there, and what I think he meant by that, even though I'm not a fan, even though Sophia didn't really mention him, I think at least I got from it, it's a whole new thing. I think he was applying Batman, specifically Batman, and I do want to like. I know this is a Penguin. I know people are gonna be like, this should be heavily focused on Penguin, Sophia, all that, but at the end of the day, as we get later, what are you gonna do with Batman? The obstacle of Batman, because Batman could bring everything down. Really, if you think about it, he could bring everything down. The Riddler exposed a lot of things. Okay, exposed a lot. Okay, all right. I'm just saying, like, eventually, Batman they gotta focus a little bit on little bit. I'm not meaning a lot. Just a little bit on Batman because, yeah, you can focus on this gang war with the Penguin and all that. Penguin, the Falcons, the Gigantes, and Moonies. You can focus on, but Batman. Batman is always gonna be the main obstacle for villains in Gotham, even crime families. Okay, always, because nobody in the crime family is smart as Batman, Bruce Wayne. Nobody in the crime family could fight like Batman in a combat setting, right? And stuff like that. And take. Do you think this show is gonna give us the next villain, super villain, for the Penguin show, or no? Or no? They have to recast Barbara Pat. No, they don't. Okay. Sorry about the cough, man. It's winter time, man. It's winter. All right. I don't know. I'm just thinking, what? Because when I watch a show, I always think. I mean, I enjoy the show. Obviously, I love the show, but I always think about Batman too. Like, how is Batman going to fit into this? How is Batman going to play into this? Maybe if she takes the name Magpie. Okay, I just I'm not I know I'm sure. Okay, the connection was lost for a couple seconds, but check it out. Yeah, it won't be to the very end. That's what I mean, Degrassi. Like, yeah, yeah. Like, you know what he could do? Pig one. It clearly Pig one's gonna be at the end. At the end of the show, finally, I'm the kingpin of the Gotham and all that. And you just see like maybe Batman, um, batarang with a note on it, say, "Don't get too comfortable. I'm watching you," or something like that, or something like that. Where Penguin thinks Penguin's like, "Oh, I'm safe. I'm from the top. I'm finally safe on the top of the food chain in the Gotham underworld." And all of a sudden, something, something, a bat like something. Now I'm not talking about human. I'm not talking about relatable Batman. Like one of his utility items with a note says, "Don't get too comfortable. I'm watching you." That's what I would do. This That's what I would do because but that'll be the Batman part two. I'm Matches Malone. Yeah, yeah. Batman when he goes undercover. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Now, Eve Carlo, is she gonna become a female Clayface, or is she gonna be another Carlo involved? Are they gonna make her Clayface or another, or is gonna be another Carlo? Keanu, Matt Reeves. He's talking about. That's what okay. Shit, man. Shit. Maybe I should stop talking. Yeah. I'm gonna end it here, guys. About an hour in. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and movie favorite, like, share, subscribe, comment below. Tomorrow we'll do something. I'll do something tomorrow. Um, and Tuesday. Don't worry. Next Sunday we'll do episode 6. Spoiler review. Episode 6. Yeah, episode 6. 6 next week. Okay. All right. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment below.